Welcome to Olympus. Come on.
Freak, are you kidding me?
Hey guys, welcome to Highly Recommended Jiu-Jitsu Edition. We're here at Checkmat Lutz, or Lutz?
Yeah.
Lutz,
Yep.
with Josh Souder here at his academy, Olympus Jiu-Jitsu.
Yep.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to have you here and for people to see my academy and see what we have to offer. So it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. So as you guys know, we typically review food. We don't review it, we highly recommend it. And this is an academy that we wanted to highly recommend it, especially if you're in the area visiting. If you do jiu-jitsu of any sorts, no matter if it's been a month to a black belt for 28 years, this is a place that you do want to come, get very high skilled level of training, whether it's open mats or even attending a class. This is an academy that welcomes you with open arms. As you can tell, he's definitely a friendly person. And this is a very nice academy so far. So what made you move out here?
Really, when I decided to go ahead and open my own academy, it was just a matter of finding the right spot, the right location. And I give all credit to Connie, which is my future wife, and she found this place, and it's like a diamond in the rough. It was, she was like, I found this place. I was like, I don't like the color of the outside, it's red. And believe it or not, it's been a great place, and I'm super, super happy that we landed here. And Lutz needed a good jiu-jitsu community here. We have baseball fields. There's a lot of families that live all around here, and so I don't think I could have found a better spot.
Yeah, well, I mean, I used to stay right up the road, and I know this area of being like Podunk County.
Yeah.
So no jiu-jitsu except, or any martial arts of any kind. Well, there was the kickboxing up the road about 4 miles, but to see an actual legitimized jiu-jitsu academy in the area, that's something. It has to, does it bring in a lot of business? Like, is there a lot of students at all?
Yeah. We have, we're growing a lot, like almost every day. And, we have 2 different kids classes that go on multiple times a week. And we have an average about, 20 students in each one of those classes that show up. We have more, but, that show up consistently. Our adult classes stay pretty packed. We're at about, 100 and some students, and we're just reaching our 2-year mark in May. May 5th.
May the 5th be with you.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, so are you guys gonna do something big this year for it?
We want to. Right now times are kind of weird, because of the COVID situation. But I think by that time, I think it's going to be calmed down a little bit, and the vaccines are out or whatnot. And I would like to have a gathering again because it's important for the community, for the people to get together and have fun in these stressful times. So I'd like to do a really nice, barbecue, outside barbecue or something for our 2-year celebration. So.
And I know you like food. So,
I'm a foodie.
Definitely, it's going to be good if you do.
Yeah.
Now. As you said, Connie, she found this place out here. That's what made you come out here. How long have you been doing jiu-jitsu? What made you get into it as well?
Well, honestly, what made me get into jiu-jitsu, probably almost everybody my age that's been into it for about 18 years, the UFC. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Hoist Gracie.
Hoist Gracie.
Yeah, you got to... actually, Ken Shamrock was who I liked the most. Because I was young, I was like, he was all jacked and everything. I was like, oh, Ken Shamrock's awesome. But as I started, learning, I was like, oh, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is where it's at. Yeah. And I've been training about 18 years, so I can give you a background of my long journey if you'd like.
So you liked Ken Shamrock on the UFC. But what really got you into it? Like, you just walk into a gym one day and
So I was
I'm addicted?
Yep, I'm originally from Huntington, West Virginia.
Huntington, West Virginia.
Yes,
Okay.
And there's a club there. At the time, it's a nice gym. There's been a lot of great fighters come out of this gym, believe it or not. It's called Ground Zero. And the guy that runs it is a guy named Ashley Lockwood. And I called there and I was like, I want to fight. Yeah, I was that guy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I want to fight. So he said, come on down. He probably thought I was some crazy dude, wanting to do the UFC. And now take it, this is back in like UFC 3, UFC 4. You know what I mean? And when I show up, it's like a jiu-jitsu club. Everybody's white belts. They're, back in that time, it was, seeing a purple belt was a big, a big thing back then. For us to drive to see a black belt, it would have to, they were going to DC or wherever. You had to drive 4 or 5 hours to find a black belt at this time. So I show up at this, it's above a Mexican restaurant, and I just start doing it. I had my first jiu-jitsu tournament in like a month after I start training, and then I had my first MMA fight 6 months after I started training.
Okay.
Yeah, I fought on one of Monty Cox's cards.
And how'd you do both times?
So I won. I won my first MMA fight. I won in like 25 seconds. And how it went down was I go show up and I was nervous as hell, at the weigh-ins because the guys came down from Militich camp. And at the time, Jens Pulver was a lightweight champion and stuff. Jens Pulver was in his corner. Jeremy Horn was the referee. This was in Middletown, Ohio, where the fight was, at a bingo hall. And it was for ICE. Kerry Shaw ran the organization, and he was a old school fighter. And Monty Cox helped, I guess, matchmaking. Monty Cox is a very known promoter in the UFC world. Or, in the MMA world, I'm sorry. And so we got there and they set me up, to fight this guy. I can't remember his last name. Brandon Apperson is what I'm thinking his last name was. But he was all jacked, really jacked. And I'm there. Yeah, I'm there, and and we get out to the ring, and I'm like, okay, I've been training mixed martial arts my whole life without knowing I was training for mixed martial arts, if that makes sense. Because I was into, karate, then I boxed, Golden Gloves, and then I, wrestled in middle school and stuff like, you know what I mean? So I was doing it before I knew what the game was. And so we get out there, and the guy kicks me in my leg, and in my head, I was like, oh, fuck this, you know what I mean? And I shot in on him, and he pancaked me, flattened me out to mount, and I hip escaped out the back door heel hook. I won in 25 seconds. So when I won that fight, I thought I was the toughest man to ever walk the earth. So it was cool, because
ego booster.
Yes,
for sure.
yeah, because I definitely was meant to lose, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I was that guy, and that's how I started. And then everything I did from there on out was for my fighting. Traveling. I moved from Huntington, West Virginia. Because when I did jiu-jitsu, it was for fighting. It wasn't for, now that I'm been retired from mixed martial arts, now I'm doing jiu-jitsu for the sport competition, not the MMA competition, if that makes sense. And there is difference, when you have the gi on and when you're fighting MMA.
Yeah.
So I moved from Huntington, West Virginia, and I went to Cincinnati, Ohio. And I was training with a black belt named George Gurgel. It's when I first got my start, and a UFC legend in the Hall of Fame called Rich Franklin. And I actually lived with Rich for a while. He brought me in and let me live with him for a while when I first moved up there. And then I just started training and fighting and met all kinds of great people and been around great champions my whole venture. And then from there, I ran into a world champion kickboxer named Hector Pena. He fought K1, all kinds of stuff. And he lived in California. And I had the opportunity. He wanted me to come out there. So I was doing all my camps out in California and training with him and a guy named Boss Rutlin.
So real quick, you went from West Virginia.
Yes.
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yes.
And then you were based in Cincinnati, Ohio, but flying out to California
to Los Angeles, yes.
Or to do LA to do camps.
Yes, Yeah, so I was living out there. I actually moved out there too.
Oh, and then you ended up moving.
Yes,
okay.
And I lived with Hector Pena. And one of his best friends was Boss Rutten. And you know, how it happened one time. You know, Hector Pena came to Cincinnati, Ohio. Long story short, his wife, family lived in Cincinnati, Ohio. So he was there to visit, came to the academy that I was teaching at.
Yeah.
We became friends. He came in and, you know, we trained a little bit. Then, like a week later, he calls me and Boss Rutan's on the phone. Hey, Josh, I seen your fights. I want you, you know, you all come out with Hector. Yeah. And I was like, starstruck. I was like, oh, man, this is Boss Rutan, one of the best to ever do it. And so I went out there and had great opportunities and had a great time training with some great people, you know. So I had a good run in mixed martial arts. I liked it. I don't want to go back to it. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to do one more fight. That was the road behind. Now I focus on my Jiu-Jitsu Academy. I don't even really like train MMA people, you know, here. Here's Jiu-Jitsu. It's what I love. Gi Jiu-Jitsu is probably my favorite thing out of everything, you know. And it's difficult for me because I wasn't like this a gi guy starting, even though I trained gi, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I wasn't a gi guy starting. I did the gi, but we did Jiu-Jitsu for MMA, you know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's interesting because that's exactly when I came to you.
Yeah.
That's how I was doing it.
Yes.
I was doing no gi when I first started.
Yeah.
I actually started under Wolfpack, under Robbie Craddock.
Okay.
Down there in the Sarasota Northport area.
Yeah.
And then I went under Tony Danica, which is Hobson affiliated.
Okay.
And I mostly stuck to a little bit of gi, but mostly no gi.
Yeah.
And then after I beat cancer, I moved up to Tampa. I started training under you, and that was gi.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I've stuck gi ever since.
Yeah.
I've been addicted ever since.
Yeah. Gi is awesome, you know, and there's a finesse about it. It's something that I really enjoy, and like even being, you know, and I'm masters too now when I compete and being older, I still feel like, man, my gi jiu-jitsu is just improving because I'm focused on like, you know, my professor now, Leo Vera, you know, he's like, you got to update your jiu-jitsu just like you do your iPhone. And a lot of people at black belts, they get stuck in their ways sometimes. And us older guys sometimes get stuck in our pressure passing, you know what I mean, the old school way. And, you know, I've been really trying to update my game and develop. And I've been competing a lot. Last year, I competed as much as I possibly could. You know, I did like 3 or 4 fights in a month and a half. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I went to the one out in Fight to Win.
Yes.
When you're the first one, because you've done what, 2, right? 2
yes.
Fight to Wins?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, good. Just want to verify that.
Yes,
one.
2 Fight to Win. So yes.
All right. Yeah, I went to the first one out there. Watched it, and then 8 months or so later, you were doing another one. And even in between, you were doing IBJJF tournaments.
Yes.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, that's why I like to compete in IBJJF. I think it's definitely for gi jiu-jitsu, it's the best. You know what I mean? It's a great organized tournament. The structure's the best gi competitors compete in that, period.
Okay.
And that's what I like to do. But you know, I enjoy coaching too. I think I'm a better coach, you know, instructor than I ever was any type of fighter. You know what I mean? And I guess it's just my personality, and I care because jiu-jitsu. You know, I have a sign jiu-jitsu changed my life, and it's the truth. It changed my life. So my goal is to, everybody walks in the door, you know, it's easy for me to sell jiu-jitsu because it's so real to me. It's my passion. That's a lot of people. It isn't like that I'm just, you know, doing this sales pitch and it's a McDojo with the rotating doors. No, I'm like, hey, man, this is the greatest thing you ever do.
Well, I've also noticed, which is why I wanted to interview you, is because some of these students that came when you opened here have still stuck with you throughout the past 2 years. I'm not saying the students that came here to open it with you. I'm saying this new students that were brand new white belts that started here. That this is their first academy are still here after the 2 years. Even a few recently got their blue belts. If I'm not mistaken.
You know, I was looking on the mats the other day, and I was like, man, this is good because we got a lot of the people that started from day one, you know, have progressed. They've been coming a lot, and they have their blue belts now. It's like We have a lot of blue belts now, and that's a good sign,
Yeah.
saying that you have the retention, and that's the goal. When obviously I want to get as many people in here as possible and spread jiu-jitsu to the world, but you don't want them to come 6 months and leave. You want them to go all the way through black belt. I want everybody to get to black belt if they can.
Now, since you're stating that you had a very diverse jiu-jitsu journey, what made you come to Checkmat?
Okay, long story short, when I started jiu-jitsu 18 years ago or whatever in Huntington, West Virginia, there was a foreign exchange student from Brazil named Bernardo, okay? And we were like very good friends. We hung out every day. We trained together. Then let's fast forward, after he graduated, he moves back to Brazil, and I go to Cincinnati, and we don't see each other for a very long time. And when I moved down to Florida, we just happened to get in contact with each other again. And he had he was in Sarasota, and he's he's a Checkmat black belt under Leo, and he's been with him for a very long time, and we were very good friends. And he had a academy in Sarasota, a small one, a little Checkmat Academy that he just opened up. And I was living in Tampa, but I was going to, already start up with him. You know what I mean? Because that was my friend,
Yeah.
And but he ended up moving back to California or to Hawaii and stuff. So that fell through. But then when I decided to open my own academy and stuff, and I split from my old professor, I called Bernardo, and he was like, hey, what about Checkmat? I was like, heck yeah. And it's been the greatest choice I ever made, because one, I have a good friend that, that I'm teammates again.
Brought you on.
And also, Leo is a very good person. And you can see that through like a lot of his instructors through the Checkmat Association, that they're good people. And I'm very honored, privileged, and happy to be part of this team.
Well, Checkmat is a very well-known competition team.
Yes.
They bring home a lot of golds.
Yes.
They represent every time that they compete.
Oh, yeah.
But when I saw you open up this academy, I'm like, okay, well, I wonder how long it's going to take him to bring in students, this, that, the other. Because, most academies struggle their first couple years.
Yes.
But you, like I said just a few minutes ago, you've already brought on students who have stuck with you throughout the past 2 years. You have very high level black belt competitors coming in here when they're in town just to train while they're getting ready for competitions. But the IBJJF competition out in Orlando a couple months ago, you did a camp, and you had many high-level competitors here throughout the whole entire week.
Yeah, it was
getting ready for that. That was intense.
Yeah.
I know. I was messaging you. Hey, can I come over?
Yeah. No, it was, Bernardo definitely hooked that up. I brought him out to run a camp for my guys. And because he is an amazing instructor, he actually has some instructionals on BJJ Fanatics, and I highly recommend them to anybody. Okay, one is called Passing for Chubby Guys, and then one is called Lazy Lasso, and I highly recommend them. And I asked him to come out. Hey man, come out, run a camp, put us through. Help me. Help our guys. And he came out and it was awesome. I learned so much from him. And then. Everybody's like, hey, where you at? Where you at? And so Bernardo came out and ran the camp, and it was awesome. We're putting on our Instagram, and then a lot of the guys were coming because of the Pan Ams from California, and they're like, Bernardo, where you at? And he's like, oh, I'm at this gym. Everybody come here. So everybody came for a week to cut the last weight, to move, to get used to the humidity here as opposed to being dry in California. You know what I mean? So we had Lucas, his team came, and then the guys from, I think it's Dallas, Samuel and a guy, and those guys came, and it was awesome. It was a really cool time, and you got to experience the best of the best in their weight class. You know what I mean? And it was cool. It made me realize it's like, whoa, okay, we got to pick up our level, obviously, and so I took a lot of the training methods that I learned from Bernardo and stuff, and now I implement it into our competitors now. And I think it really shows because in a short time, you know, I'm not talking about guys that had previous experience, but guys that had no experience and came here and that do competition do very well in a short span of time, you know, like a year.
Sorry to cut you off, but a few of them brought home gold as well, or silver.
No, they place a lot, you know, at a lot of different times. They're competing a lot. I got that culture here with competition, you know, because it's what I like to do. So I'm not going to ask anybody to do something I don't do. You know, I still put the grind in, you know, if we're competing, I'm, you know, putting the grind in, and I set a goal and, you know, accomplish it, and they see that, and that helps them. You know, I believe. But we also have tons of people that don't compete, that don't want that. You know what I mean? And they're still welcome here, obviously. And we are a family. We have a family culture here. You know, it's a very happy place to train. And that's my goal. You know, I don't care. We could lose every tournament there is. You know what I mean? As long as people find value in it, it makes them happy and change their life, that's my main goal. You know what I'm saying? That's my main goal. And but obviously, when you're happy, you enjoy it, you show up,
makes it a lot better.
You improve.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a recipe for success. You know, we have the music going. Everybody's happy. Everybody helps each other out.
Well, I know when me and Aiden came that time, it was very welcoming. We had very good roles.
Yeah.
You had the music playing. We were rolling the whole time. Tough rolls as well. Not tougher than expected, but it was all right. I'm like, all right, it's a new academy. The only tough people I got to worry about is Professor. It's all right. Nope. It's like, oh, jeez.
No, I got some killers. I got some guys that, you know, that have been training previous for me, but I feel like they've improved a whole lot, not because that I'm this great instructor. I think it's because I helped them believe in themselves more and inspire in a positive way, and then they put in the work themselves. You know what I mean? Because I think if you have somebody believing in you that's in your quarter, man, you can accomplish all of it. You know what I'm saying? Anything. And that's the main thing. You know what I mean? To inspire them to be better for themselves. You know what I mean? And that's the goal.
And it's created a culture within this academy and within this area that you don't see. I mean, when you've been in training long enough, you go into academies and gyms and you know which are McDojos or which aren't really friendly or welcoming. And as you said, those are the places that don't retain people a lot. It's like, all right, they're here because they accidentally signed a contract. They're going to train until it's done with, and then they're going to go find a place that's going to welcome them. And that's going to want them to continue to be there. And that make to where they always want to go. And then where they're calling, hey, Professor Josh, you training today? Yeah, let's train, blah, blah. And it's like, great, hey, Professor Josh, I'm having a bad day. Great, come train it away. And it's not something where it's like, man, I don't want to go. It's like they're going to kill me there, whatever. No, it's like, man, they're going to kill me there. and then they're going to pat me on the back and hug me afterwards. It's going to be great.
No, that is true. You know, it's, I try to, you know, I have a lot of students, and I make friends with my students, all my students, you know, and it's like you should be friendly and welcoming and want to see and care about every that comes through the door.
I saw your rock concerts with a few of them going out, rock it out.
There's songs we like to go to concerts and stuff, so we have a good time, and I like to build that outside of, because jiu-jitsu, anybody that doesn't, you know, it's a lifestyle, man. You know, and I tell everybody, like the first day that don't really know jiu-jitsu, you know, I'm like, dude, this is a lifestyle. It's going to change you for the better. You could be the most happy person already. It's going to improve your life. You could be a sad person. It's going to improve your life a lot. You know what I mean? And it's the truth, you know, because you build that camaraderie and you have that, warrior bond, and it's very close, very tight, because you're fighting with each other every day. You know what I mean? And you build a very close tightness with your training partners. You know what I mean? That you just don't get like from coworkers or something like that.
No, not
at
all.
So
there's a huge difference when you go to your coworkers. They're like, You doing your karate?
Oh,
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm doing my karate in my pajamas.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Just come train. You'll
yeah.
understand.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll be addicted afterwards, and I'll accept your apology.
Yeah.
It's all right.
They're in what I do break faces down, and like the unknown is the first part. That's why I say with the white belt people, or the white belts, I should say. They're in that. They're in the unknown. They have no clue what they don't know. You know what I mean? So it's funny. They're like doing the karate chops at you and stuff. Yeah. It's happened to me too.
Good times though. So on top of the highly recommended, because I did want to show off the gym, but as well as show off a place that you might have in mind to eat, and we could continue this conversation there.
I got a perfect place. You like sushi?
I love sushi.
Well, I got one of the best spots in Tampa for it. So let's go check it out. It's called Sushi Cafe off Bruce B. Downs.
Sushi Cafe?
Yeah.
All right. Sushi Cafe is where we're going to go. Yeah. And stay tuned.
Okay.
Henry de Amy.
Welcome to part 2 of Highly Recommended Jiu-Jitsu Edition. Now, as we were saying, we are here at Sushi Cafe, right?
Yes, we are.
All right, where's Sushi Cafe?
Sushi Cafe is located on Bruce B. Downs.
Here
in New
North
Tampa. Yeah.
New Tampa?
New Tampa. Uh-huh.
Why do they call it New Tampa?
I guess it's newer than the old Tampa.
All right. Was wondering about that.
So it's like 15 minutes from my academy, because my academy's in Lutz, but it's still, I lived over this way, so I like to come here a lot.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, what's your favorite meal?
The best thing to get from here is the monster roll. It's amazing. Yes, and you're gonna have it today. It's the best thing.
All right. I'm gonna put your word to where it counts. Put the money where it counts.
Yeah.
If it's not, they're gonna know.
No, you will not be disappointed.
All right. So far we got some miso soups. Right there. It's actually pretty good. Typical miso soup.
It's good.
Nothing wrong with it. Now, where we leave off? We left off talking about the academy and everything. Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask, what's it like coming from a traditional, old school jiu-jitsu background to rolling with people who are now modern style jiu-jitsu?
Yeah,
if you would call it. Is there a big difference?
It just depends. That's a tough one, I guess you could say. You need to, the new black belts and the adult division, and like purple belts coming up. These guys are good, man. There's a big difference in purple belts when I started jiu-jitsu and purple belts now, with the level, because you have more experience or more opportunity to be with learning from higher level guys, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So, no, the game has definitely changed. And if you don't keep up with that, you're going to be left behind. It's always evolving. That's how come what's so great about jiu-jitsu is that it's always evolving and always changing. If you put jiu-jitsu in a box, that goes against what it was meant for. Jiu-jitsu is meant to always grow, be organic, be alive. You know what I mean? So, I think the different cultures, different places you go, you have the different styles, and that's what makes it so great. So I think if you label jiu-jitsu as in like, okay, here's the 16 moves that you need to know for this, or 36 moves that you have to have, and that's it. You know what I mean? That is complete crap, in my opinion. Because, as we know, this is how you do a technique. This is how you do the armbar, but it might vary, or the triangle, depending on the length and the structure, body size of the person you're fighting, and how big you are. So it's always changes. That's what makes it so great. You know what I mean? So to answer that question, it's changed a lot, obviously, because it's evolving, it's updating, but still the old stuff still works very well. You know what I mean? Yeah. You just got to understand how to deal with the new guards, the new lapels, the daily, all the stuff that everybody's doing.
Now, who was someone that you looked up to when you got in? When you actually started learning jiu-jitsu after 2 years of training, at least.
Yeah.
Once you started learning names and everything, who's
Okay.
someone that you looked to? Like you wanted to base your style around, sort of like you nitpicked a lot of their style from.
That's a tough one because there's so many good people, you know. Yeah, I like, you know, when I started, like I said, 2 years of me being into it, you know, it was the MMA jiu-jitsu fighters, you know. Minotauro was the best ever, you know, in my eyes, you know, going into it. I liked, I loved Vanderlei Silva, and these are the MMA guys. Now, if we go to jiu-jitsu, I liked, back then, Salo was like one of the main guys because he was, you know, winning a lot of the divisions, higher divisions, being a smaller guy, winning heavyweight and stuff like that. So him, and then, you know, Marcelo Garcia, you know, was a big, a big one.
Sad to see his gym be shut down still.
Yeah, yeah, it's sad. That's sad all across the board, you know. There's just so many, dude. Leo, me being, you know, having Leo come to my academy, you know, he starts like that.
How was that?
Yeah,
a little starstruck?
Yeah, because like he was one of the guys that I was like, oh, you know, he's the man, you know.
Yeah.
He was definitely one of the most exciting jiu-jitsu fighters. He was definitely ahead of his time, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And there's a lot. I couldn't say there's this one that I say only, but, you know.
Understood.
Yeah.
I understand how that is.
Yeah.
Because when I first got into it, the people that I looked after was the Meows and Jeff Glover.
Okay,
I was still am a huge Jeff Glover fan.
Yeah.
Now it's evolved a little bit.
Yeah.
Now I pay attention to Hanato, which I had the lucky chance to meet him a few months
He's
back.
super exciting, man. No matter what, it's going to be an exciting fight.
It's a big fight.
Yeah.
And now I watch Roberto Jimenez. Jimenez.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Don't be mad if you see this. But I watch a lot of his, and then I still, of course, watch a lot of, or used to watch a lot of Jeff Glover. I still one day would like to train under, or train a little bit with him.
Yeah, he's very good.
Or at least do a review.
Oh, another one I left out that I should say, because I still love watching his stuff, and I still like to use the stuff he does, is Teddy.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the man. He's awesome, too, so.
I like to hear that. So you got a favorite student?
No, I love all my students.
See if I toss you up on that
Yeah,
one.
no, I mean, because they're all different, you know. It's like, you know, I have, you know, one that's doing very well is one of my students, Keith Pastrana. He's doing really, really well in the competition scene, and you know, he's a very, very good jiu-jitsu competitor. Mauricio Loyo, he's good. He's coming back from injury, but he's like the technician. He's doing really good, you know. And
Man,
I'm
he's
proud
injured again?
Yeah. Well, he got his first, you know, he broke his arm.
Yep.
And then he tore his knee. So
Oh, geez.
I think it's just catching up to him because that you gotta lock him out in the gym because he lived there. You know, he trains. He's very, very hard work ethic. You know, he's he comes for business and he does what it takes to get it done. You know what I mean? Like he'll drill, train he used to train like 4 times a day, every day. You know what I mean? But it shows he's very technical. You know, I'm real proud of my brother. You know, I gave him his blue belt last year, but he's worked really hard and he's lost so much weight. You know, I'm proud of him because he's you know, he's doing good. Yeah. So, you know, I got a lot of guys that I'm there. I'm proud of. You know what I mean? All my guys and my students that don't compete. You know what I mean? I'm proud of them. If they put that white belt on. You know, and I'm proud of
they put
you know?
it on.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, because everybody's different. You know.
Well, it shows what kind of instructor you are. I mean, I trained with you 3 years ago. I would say.
Yeah.
And I mean, look at us right now. We're doing a review.
Yeah.
And we stayed in touch.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it just shows
Yeah,
what
yeah.
kind of professor and instructor you are.
Yeah. You can build a relationship. You can have 300 students,
Yeah.
and you can build a relationship with those 300 people. You know, it might not be everybody that you hang out with every single day, but it doesn't mean that you're not friends and friendly to your students. You don't have to be a dictator. No. You know what I mean? And that's, you get that issue sometimes in martial arts, you know, it's like, but, you know, I'm not going to get into any of that. It's just,
I will. Every legitimized academy, I've never had anyone make them call them something. It's just been out of respect that you call them professor.
Yeah. You know, they earn that. You know, but if I have students that call me coach or call me what, it is what it is. But eventually they see the other people, they'll call me professor, and they're like, oh, it's professor, you know. But I'm not going to be like, Professor Josh. You know what I'm saying? Or, no, you don't say it. No, that's silly. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll get it, you know, because in martial arts you do want to have that respect, you know.
For real, you've been doing it, and you give up your limbs to teach people and learn it.
And you earn that, you know, and that's how come, you know, when I talk to other black belts, it's professors. When I talk to my coaches, I address them as my coach in class in front of everybody, you know, and even outside, we're so used to it. I'm like, hey, Coach Key, Coach Marisa, you know what I mean? Coach Nolan now, you know? And so it's, you know, so it becomes that culture. Get used to it. Other people get used to it.
And it's sad to see that there's a larger McDojo community than there is actual legitimized, respectful jiu-jitsu. I've from going to Michigan and here, I've came across a lot of gyms that are very let's get into the ring style, not be too respectful, and just very macho man type of gyms and academies.
Oh, for real?
And it's hard to find the ones that are very like, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Like, let's teach, blah, 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 welcome. Bring you under my wing.
Yeah.
This, that, the other.
I don't know, you know, I've been around a lot because I've trained at a lot of places, and it wasn't, me being out of a lot of places, I wasn't like, oh, I get upset and I left this academy and went over here, or left this academy and go over here. It's because of traveling and fighting. Then my career took me a lot. And then moving. It never was, you know, really like, I left this academy, left that academy, upset, like that. You know, because I went from Cincinnati and then to California, and I trained at some good places when I was there, you know, cross training and stuff. And it was everybody's pretty cool. Usually the ones that I feel that, and there is exceptions, but the ones that I feel that aren't nice, they had something to try to prove to their students because they never really lived the life. They just sort of got it, but never really competed at the Worlds or fought mixed martial arts professionally or on TV or any of that stuff. You know what I mean? Those are the ones that sort of do that. And the ones that usually have walked it are like really chill.
For real.
Cool. You know what I mean?
No.
Or they could just be bad people. I don't know.
Understood. Yeah, and they could just be real bad. Now, what is your personal take on the difference of a coach and a professor?
Okay. A coach is somebody instructing us a non-black belt. A professor is a black belt.
I agree with
A master
that.
is a red and black belt. Grandmaster is your red belt. That's easy. It's just laid out there. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I fully agree with that. And some, like you, some academies, like if their students call them coach, they don't care. It's whatever. It's still showing respect.
Yeah.
But not saying what place, but I was visiting and the student said, "Oh, my coach." And I'm like, "You mean your professor?" He's like, "No, my coach." I'm like, "That person's your professor."
Yeah.
And I wasn't thinking about it. I was talking with my boy Aiden. You know, he's like, "Joseph, you're just being a pain in the ass for no reason." I'm like, I'm sorry. It's just like
because you
understand
that. Hey, they got that. They got probably, you know, they've got 8 to 15 years, depending on when they start their jiu-jitsu journey, how long it took to get that black belt, and that's hours logged on a mat. I mean, that's
For real.
very respect. They earned that title, you know.
I agree with that statement. All
Excuse
right,
me.
cool.
Yeah.
I was always wondering if maybe I am being that pain in the ass.
No, I
or
don't
not.
think you are. I think it's good that somebody outside of the professor themselves address it.
Yeah.
Somebody, you know what I mean? That's. I think it's a good thing. You know what I mean? Because I don't. There's a point of being chill, being cool, and then somebody being disrespectful. You know what I mean? When at the beginning of class, line up by rank. Don't be talking to your friends when the professor or the coach says line up, or walk around the mats or whatever it is. Do it. Don't just do your own thing.
No.
Because that's disrespectful. Don't just keep on, when you figure out you've been there long enough and everybody's addressing them as professor or something, don't just keep on saying coach because that's what you want to call them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Understood.
That's because you got to be respectful.
Now, all right, in regards to the respect at the academy, and with you having your own academy now, how do you do promotions? Do you follow the old classic gauntlet, whipping them, which is
No,
still
no,
okay?
no,
Or
no.
do you do like a king of the mat style? Some academies do. Oh, thank you. And then
Okay, this one's it? The rest? Yes?
Miyazaki.
Okay, thank you very much.
thank you.
Enjoy, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Or yes,
Right,
ma'am. Or do you do like just regular scheduled promotions?
No, so I do, it just depends. I go by, I think everybody, you got to follow the IBJJF standards, in my opinion. Meaning
Which
that, 1 to 2 years for this belt, 2 to 3 year minimum standard requirements for the belts. Okay, so you got to have that. So from white to blue, there's no minimum requirement. Okay, but then from blue to purple, you got to have brown to or purple to brown, you got to have, and brown to black, you got to have. Then after you get a black belt, then it's time and grade. So every so many years you get a stripe, and there's you could print out on IBJJF website. You could make a poster of it, everything. I think that's where it should go because the IBJJF is the sanctioning body of jiu-jitsu in the world. So people should follow that, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So I go by that, my academy. Now, just because it doesn't mean that as soon as you get that time that you're ready for that belt. You know what I mean? There's it depends on what I look for in my students and what other professors might look for in their students. First, you got to have the time and grade, the hours logged, okay? That lets me know that you have the hours ready to be promoted. I don't do a testing to where it's like, okay, like I said, you got to do these moves. I don't do that testing. I don't think testing should be in jiu-jitsu. After a year, they should have the ability to be a blue belt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In my opinion, knowledge-wise, they might take a little bit longer than other people, just because they might not be as gifted athletically or something, I should say. You know what I mean? But I also look for not just performance, but what is your personality? How do you act off the mat? How do you treat other people? If you're a strong person and you're a white belt, almost a blue belt, how are you rolling with people that are weaker than you? Are you just messing people up? Are you kind? Do you help people? There's a lot that goes into it.
Understood.
And I think each professor could be a little bit different, you know what I mean, on how they do it.
Did not expect sushi, and glad that we did. So what'd you get?
So I got the monster roll, which is the best
monster roll?
one. Yeah, it was very, very good. And then this is called the red rose roll, which is spicy tuna with tuna on top. It's really, really good.
Nice.
So try the monster roll if you'd like.
Monster roll real quick?
That's the best one, in my opinion.
Should I dip it in there?
Dip it.
Dip it?
Don't be scared.
Getting some dip it. Oh, you guys can't even see that. Gonna get some dippage. Oh.
They did good today. They did good today. And this is the
Definitely on point.
red rose or rose red, whatever. This spicy tuna roll with tuna on top.
Tuna times tuna.
Very good.
I see why you come here now.
It's good. See, how you don't get in trouble, you gotta be smart. Here in about 10 minutes, I'll place a to-go order for Connie. You know what I mean? I'm a smart man. Happy wife, happy life. Remember that.
Highly recommended, that's why.
I love you, babe. I got you.
I do too. Oh man. So how'd you find this place?
I just live up the street.
That's how you found it?
Well, just Googled sushi and tried out a bunch of places, and this has been the best.
Nice, yeah. I got a Miyazaki and a Hawaii roll. You're more than welcome to try either or.
Yep.
They're both really good.
What's this one called?
That's the Miyazaki.
Okay.
What's in it, I'm not sure.
Looks like maybe some smoked salmon, some cream cheese, deep fried.
I try to get a mixture of everything. The girlfriend and my puppy are the only two things that I like one of. Everything else I like a mixture of.
That's good.
Right? It's pretty decent. Not too bad at all. Now, what's your go-to, not here, but what's your go-to meal in general? Do you like a good old steak? Do you like chicken? Like, well, your birthday meal. What's your birthday meal? We ain't talking that meal.
Okay, let me see. My birthday meal. Let me think. You know what? Pizza is probably my favorite thing. I'm a New York style pizza man. Pizza's my favorite. New York style pizza. Like a good, and believe it or not, we have some really good New York style pizza places around here.
That we do. Shout out to Duamici's.
Best place. Best pizza place.
Yeah. You been there down in Ybor?
That's my spot. We go there, yeah.
Yeah. All right, good. That's mine too.
Yep.
I love it.
Duamici's is the best pizza place in Tampa. They're really good.
Now, have you ever been to Lee's Groceries?
That's good?
Yeah, it's really good. You can't compare those two. They're in
Okay.
their own ranking.
Okay.
Because Lee's Groceries is artesian style pizza.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
that's
really
different.
good. Shout out to you guys too, sponsor, just saying. So what about this place makes it highly recommended compared to all the other sushi places around?
I just think the consistency, it's always very fresh. You know what I mean? The fish is,
It is fresh.
It's always very fresh. It's just very comfortable here. It's not too big. It's just nice. You know what I mean? I never had a bad time coming here.
Never? Understood. That's good then. And the prices are very reasonable.
Yeah.
Not overly
No.
expensive at all.
No, it's very nice. Very nice prices.
Sorry about that. Now, unlike down in downtown Tampa, South Tampa, man, you're talking $15-20 a plate. It's like it's outrageous. But that's why they're not highly recommended.
No, that's right.
All right, Professor Josh, we just got done doing a highly recommended for Olympus Checkmat Jiu-Jitsu over in Lutz. We went here at Sushi Cafe. Now, what would you give it out of 5? Would it be a 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 3.5?
In my opinion, I thought everything was on point. I'm glad to give it a 5 out of 5. I come here all the time, man. It was friendly, fast, and good.
5 out of 5. I'll give it a 5 out of 5 too. Been here before. Definitely highly recommended. Both spots. Check them out. Josh Souder, Olympus Jiu-Jitsu, Sushi Cafe. See you guys.